Hello friends. Less than a fucking week until I start college. It's honestly so surreal to me. It is the 15th of August and I move in on Wednesday, the 21st of August, so it's coming so soon. I don't know if I'm ready for it. I know this summer has felt like pretty long and I was like, shit, I can't wait till I move to the Bay Area, but now that it's like one more week, I'm like, what the fuck? So yeah, what better way to wrap up my final days in dry Sacramento than to do a little Q&A session as well as just wrapping up my final thoughts before college. I honestly think that since I'm moving to the Bay Area and since I'm like transitioning to this like whole new life, there's like some final things that I want to clear up and just like some final thoughts that I want to like dump out. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. If you like it, then go ahead and smash the like button. You know the drill. So Angel May Beck says, top 3 places to visit outside of Cali. Kind of like a loaded question. I just love traveling. I really want to travel during my freshman year at Berkeley. But I think if I had to choose, it will be number 1 is the Philippines because that's my home. It will always be my home. I may be born in Europe, but I will always call the Philippines home. It's really beautiful. You can see Boracay, which a lot of people go to. Mayon Volcano, which looks kind of like exactly like a perfect cone. And then there's Baguio, which I call the SF of the Philippines. It's just because Baguio never gets like hot. Like I know the rest of the Philippines gets like 80 to 90 degrees, but Baguio only gets up to like 70, which is super nice. It's even like a little bit colder than Berkeley, which gets up to 80 degrees. But yeah, number 1 place is the Philippines. And then number 2 is anywhere in Europe. Europe is arguably like one of the most beautiful places on earth. There's Switzerland, France, and then my hometown, London. Always a good place to visit. It's always cold and I think it snows there. And I love snow. And then number 3 is either Japan or Singapore, and it's because like the both of them are like so clean. Singapore even has this rule that like, oh, like you can't really like chew gum or else, I don't know, like you'll get fined or whatever. Both countries are so beautiful. I think they're way ahead of their time and they're all in Asia. So I mean, because I'm Asian, of course. So that's the question. Elsie Ramos says, was Berkeley your top choice even before getting accepted? No. My top choice was Stanford. I fucking loved Stanford. Stanford was my dream school. Number 1 psychology program in the fucking world. Everything at Stanford, from the prestige, from the location, from the culture there. Even when I visited, even when people were telling me, oh, like don't apply to Stanford, it's too expensive, none of that mattered. Because it was just like, oh my god, I need to get into the school. Also because like my family could like brag about their first gen student coming to Stanford. It looks something like this.
Hey, I heard your daughter went to Stanford.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, oh my god, I'm so jealous my son didn't go to Stanford.
I know, right? Stanford is such a good school. I wouldn't imagine my daughter not going there.
Exactly, like imagine your first gen student going to Stanford.
I literally wanted my whole entire family to brag about me going to Stanford. So I applied restrictive early action. I literally wrote the best essays I could have ever wrote, and then I got rejected. Oh, I got rejected. It's okay. And then after that 15 seconds of disappointment, I was like, okay, bye Stanford, I'm not gonna miss you. I decided to apply to Pomona Early Decision 2 and then just hope for UCLA. And then Pomona I got rejected from. And then what's funny about UCLA is I literally manifested like getting in so many times. Even on decision day, I was like, okay, I will get into UCLA, I will get into UCLA. And then so I literally like wore a UCLA t-shirt and I brought a UCLA tote bag. Still didn't get in.
So now waitlist already?
No. I was super disappointed and I was like, since I got rejected from UCLA, I have no hope for Berkeley. And then I get into Berkeley. At the end of the day, decisions are decisions and it only takes one school. I'm so glad I got into Berkeley. I think that the school is really perfect for me. But yeah, was Berkeley my top choice even before getting accepted? No, but it is now. And then my friend Kat says, anywhere you want to visit in particular after moving to Berkeley? We have the Cal Academy. We're having our own Day in the Bay excursion on August 24th and I'm going to Cal Academy with my friends. So that's that. And then I also want to visit like anywhere in the Bay Area in general. I think that the Bay Area is a wonderful place. Minus all the like car window smashing and expensive prices. But the Bay Area is a really cool place. I cannot wait to move there. And there's also like a shit ton of coffee shops and a shit ton of restaurants around Berkeley that I really want to try. I just want to like experiment a lot and like go to new places. I want to try everything. So when someone asks, is there anywhere you want to visit? I'll just say everything. Plus the amount of walking I'll do, I'll probably lose like 15 pounds or something. I don't know. And then Kat also says, what's the most random thing you've packed for college? It would probably have to be tarot cards. No one brings tarot cards to college, so I thought, why not take it upon myself to bring tarot cards? I think that tarot cards are really fun to read. I remember during CSK I was like, okay, like let me like read your tarot cards, and we bought some Wingstop and we just like yapped about like basically everything, and I ended up reading their tarot cards, and it was so fun just to see like, oh, like what is their love life like or something like that. So when someone asks me what is the most random thing you packed for college, it's tarot cards. So what's the one thing you don't want to happen at college? Fear of missing out. I sort of got that FOMO from like seeing posts of like people like at parties and people like traveling and people just hanging out with their friends in general. I do have a really bad fear of missing out, and as much as I want to do everything at college, I'm like really worried of, oh, like what if I miss out on this? What if I don't get invited to this? What if I don't get into this research lab? What if I don't get into this consulting club? What if I don't do enough? And it's just basically like a mix of fear of failure and a fear of missing out. And if I'm being honest, it's one that's like really gotten into my head lately. And while it's going to happen at college, I don't want it to be like so bad, like to the point where I just like withdraw from everyone because I think, oh, like I'm not really like good enough to hang out with everyone or something like that. Also, just like getting into trouble is like something I don't want to happen, obviously. I mean, I got into Berkeley, but I have heard of some people that like got expelled from Berkeley because they had low grades or they did like a shitty thing. I'm always trying to be the best version of myself, which I'll explain later. Maxwell_08 says, what's the one thing you don't want to happen at college? FOMO, fear of failure, and getting into trouble. And then my friend Ali says, what is something you really hope to do at college? Basically everything. Berkeley is all about experimentation, and I'm so excited to just like go in there and like explore. A lot of people think, oh, like if you go into Berkeley, then you must have your shit together and you know, you must know what you're gonna do. Even the best of the best started with like something very different, and the fact that everyone's like transparent about it gives me like more reasons to like explore and see what's out there and see what's meant for me, because ultimately I'm not gonna be the same person that I am in 4 years, and that's just life. So what is something you really hope to do at college? Just explore and like ride those waves. And then Cheyenne says, are you excited to come to the Bay and hang with me? I'm really excited to come to the Bay and hang out with you. That's something I've been looking forward to for such a long time. I have a lot of friends in the Bay and I've only hung out with once or twice in my life, so I'm really excited to just like come down there and like catch up with all of y'all. If you live in the Bay and you're friends with me or want to become friends with me, just like hit me up and then we can like hang out, whatever. I love all of my Bay Area friends so much, and I can't wait to see them this semester, whether that be a week or whether that be, you know, later on in the semester. I just can't wait. Okay, we are done with the questions, and now we're gonna go into some final thoughts. I have them on my iPad. I know you can see them right now, just so like I can keep track. First off, I just want to just reiterate the fact that I'm so excited to move to Berkeley. I talked about before how like I'm so lucky to be accepted to Berkeley, and I think that reflects in like what culture I want and, you know, what experience I want like out of it. Berkeley has a very different culture than Stanford and all the Ivy Leagues. Here at Berkeley, like everyone's like 100% transparent, and I think that's good because like it paves like a new path for like people of all walks of life to come and like support each other. That's what I like Berkeley. It's not just because it's the #1 school for psychology and data science, which are both my majors, but more so as to, you know, the culture of Berkeley. I know people are saying, oh, like Berkeley is really competitive. Bottom line this, like as long as like everyone's supportive and, you know, everyone's like willing to like help each other, then I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think the thing that I'm most worried about is the grade deflation, but as long as I put in effort in my classes and as long as I go to office hours, then I think I'm good. Overall, so excited to move to Berkeley. I'm definitely not excited for the Berkeley goggles, and I'm definitely not excited for having to figure things out like on my own. And I think that's one of the things I'll miss about CSK is like the community that you create. I got to meet so many amazing girls there, and the staff were beyond amazing. Everyone at CSK was like willing to support each other like in all different areas of life, and the fact that like despite our interests, because we're not necessarily like-minded, are like united towards like a common goal is honestly so amazing to me. And the fact that I'm not in CSK anymore unless I join leadership, which I will, it's definitely gonna feel different when I move back, because even though I'll see them again, there's also Berkeley goggles, which honestly I'm not excited for. But like I said before about like what's the one thing you want to do at college, I think that was the question is, just like explore and experiment. Even without like the CSK program itself, I think communities like CSK will like, help me along the way, because ultimately like that's what Berkeley's culture is all about. I'll forever miss CSK. I'll definitely join leadership next year. So if I do end up in leadership, then I'll definitely like, help lead CSK this time, but it definitely won't feel the same as like being in it. So I think that's what I'll miss the most. What I won't miss the most is dry ass ballsack. There was a friend at the SIP program who called it ballsack, so I just like call it ballsack because I don't know how I feel about the city. It definitely has expired on me for the most part, and I don't think there's like anything that I'll miss. And then just the fact that there's literally nothing to do there, especially in the part where I live in, honestly won't miss that one bit. The only fun things you can do are the Galleria, which is the mall that everyone in SAT goes to, the Galleria and Sunsplash, which if you've been living there for like 16 years, then you probably would think that it's very boring right now. There's a song by Jenny Nguyen, it's called Expired, and I think it really like describes my feelings about Sacramento perfectly. I'm not really close with anyone there, only my good friends Max, AJ, Domi. You've probably seen them before in my Instagram posts or even my videos, but other than that, I'm probably not gonna miss Sac that much. I think the things that I'll miss the most are my family. Obviously they're gonna be visiting me every 2 weeks, but I'll just like sort of like miss having them around like every single day. My family, especially like this year, has gotten like super close, and I'm really glad for that, but I am gonna miss them. Another thing that I'll also miss is, the friends that I mentioned. They're honestly super amazing people to have around. I do plan on coming back here, obviously for the holidays, and then just like to like check in on like everyone. However, I think the one thing that I'll miss the least is the heat. It's currently 94 degrees where I live, and I do not want to go out. The max temperature it gets in Berkeley is like 80 degrees, and honestly it's not that bad. I just have to make sure I prepare some crop tops and some shirts and some shorts, because it's not going to be all sweaters there. I think that's the only like really bad thing about Berkeley, but it's not really that bad. I am excited to move to Berkeley, and I already talked about how people have been like supporting each other till the very end. At the same time, there's a lot of shitty things that I've done and will do later on, and I'm not saying that as if like I plan to do shitty things later on, just saying that because all of us will do shitty things later on. It's in human nature. We're naturally inclined to be really shitty people. The last thing I want when you're like interacting with me is for you to feel like, unsafe, or feel like, oh, like you don't want to be with me, or that I'm not a good person to hang out with. Obviously I'm not going to consider myself a great person or a terrible person. Ultimately it's up to the people who are like interacting with me to decide if I'm a great person or not, and it's up to the people who are interacting with me to decide whether or not I am a terrible person. So if you have been hurt, if you have been made uncomfortable by me, then I'm really sorry for that. I do want to tell you that you're not obligated to forgive me in any way. I know I have a hard time forgiving people myself, and if you have a hard time forgiving me, or you don't want to forgive me, then that's completely fine. I'll respect that, and ultimately it's my responsibility to change myself for the better. Ultimately I have to put in the work to improve myself for the better, and that's something I've been continually doing for a while now, transforming myself into the best version of myself that I could possibly be. I don't think I need to reinvent myself. Of course there's some parts of myself that I definitely need to change. I'm definitely still really bad at focusing. I still have a big procrastination problem. I still act on impulse sometimes, and that's something that can like change with time. But I think what definitely needs to change is that I tend to like be so hard on myself. A lot of people, including me, are really hard on themselves nowadays, and we think, oh, like I have to be this like perfect person, I have to be that girl, or I'm nothing at all, which is not true. So while I have done some shitty things in the past, I don't want to be hard on myself on that. I don't want to be like, oh, like I'm a fucking terrible person, and just like keep fucking like dwelling on that past. But I think it's all a matter of like what steps can I take to improve myself for the better, and just what steps can I take to make sure that I'm more approachable, that I'm more fun to hang out with, that I'm more confident. And it's not just because like I want people to see me as a good person, but also I think it makes me feel good too, and definitely makes me more, fulfilled in life. So that's all my final thoughts. To recap, I'm really excited to move to Berkeley, but I'll miss the community I created at CSK. Sacramento has expired on me, but there's still a lot of stuff that I'll miss. And then just wanted to apologize again for like any shitty stuff that I did in the past, especially if you were affected by it and I've hurt you or I've made you uncomfortable in any way. I don't think I'm a great person, but I don't think that I'm a terrible person either, because it's up to the people to decide. And then my final thought, I'm honestly super grateful that I've even made it this far, and I'm just like excited to, you know, see where things go. It's gonna be a long, tough ride, but you know, if other people have, you know, succeeded and like gone through it, then you know, I can do it too. And the fact that there's a whole community of people that are willing to like support each other, that are willing to support me, honestly makes going to Berkeley a little bit better. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this video right here. If you liked it, then go ahead and smash the like button, subscribe down below, and follow my socials while you're at it so you don't miss anything. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for listening, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Bye!